the founder and CEO of Anna, a vending machine that you may see in a dispensary. Hi, Matt. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Hey, Christina. My pleasure. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. So why don't you tell our audience about maybe, your first interaction with cannabis? Do you remember the first time you smoked weed?
I most certainly do.
Tell us about that.
Wow, that's all right. So it was up the street. So I grew up near our high school. It was a little woods area beyond the high school, and it was the first time I had done it. It was like 6 or 7 of us. I believe we took a plastic bottle, an aluminum foil, and we made a nice little, I believe what you call a ghetto bong, and that was how that was my first introduction. But unfortunately, it took me. I didn't actually feel the effects until maybe my 4th time smoking. So it was, sort of fruitless in the beginning, but obviously not fruitless long term. I've built my whole damn life and career around it. So
absolutely, I think many people can resonate with your makeshift bong. So tell our audience, where did you get the idea for Anna? This is a cannabis vending machine. It really does reduce the amount of time people spend in a dispensary. People could be in and out in under 2 minutes. Where did you guys get the idea for it?
Yeah, so it was actually, I'm born and bred Boston. So I was at Boston University. It was my last semester of my MBA. And we were doing one of the classes was on time studies, like queuing theory, how long you wait in line, where bottlenecks are in a process, how you can improve it, how you can streamline things. So, my bright idea was, let's bring this to a local dispensary. I'm tired of waiting in line, and we'll, offer this sort of case study, and we'll offer, some research that we'll give to them. We won't, disclose it to anyone external aside from the dispensary, our professor, and maybe some classmates. So I walked into the local dispensary. I sort of offered our services. The bud tender I spoke with, she loved the idea. You could sort of see in her eyes that there's definitely some process improvements that could happen. She said, our CEO just happens to be on site today. Let me go upstairs and ask him if he'd like to partake. She came back down about a minute later and told me that how long we wait in line is proprietary information and that I need to leave. And at that point, I was like, all right, well, what exactly is it that I'm trying to do here? I'm getting my MBA. I'm almost done. I have, what is it that I'm not even able to do simple interviews, or I'm not able to ask basic questions. And it just sort of perturbed me. I tell people often, if you're a fan of the show Curb Your Enthusiasm, it almost became like one of Larry's like spite store. Like it was almost like, you can't tell me that I can't like learn about this. And all of a sudden I started picking up, regulations and started reading through. And in short time, I actually put the MBA on pause. I left my job at the time and I went full throttle into building what is now Anna. The first year was a lot of reading through compliance documents, building out software, writing patents, all of that. So it really just became, the whole genesis of it was really, a problem I just experienced on a regular basis going into the dispensary, where I was tired. I knew what I wanted. Generally I'd be looking at the menu before I showed up anyways. I just wanted a quick and easy transaction, which I wasn't getting at the time. So here we are 3.5 years later.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, and certainly a story that many people can relate to. I myself have waited in a dispensary line for a considerable amount of time. And if there was a vending machine where I could drop $40 in for an eighth, that would have been awesome. So when it comes to actually, you mentioned trying to speak to the CEO of a dispensary, them not being so very receptive, what is your process like for actually making a connection with dispensaries and with shops?
So it's really a lot of different approaches. Our head of sales, we have a lot of leads that'll come in through our CRM, our customer relationship management system. We have a lot of ones that we're tapped into some unbelievable networks. Our company, we went through the Canopy Boulder Business Accelerator. So it's in Boulder, Colorado. That team over there is unbelievable. We owe them so much. But just being plugged into that network and being able to talk with different dispensaries, different operators, and just constantly having the conversation and always keeping things current and reaching back out, circling back 3 weeks, 4 weeks later. And we always wanted to get feedback, and that was how we really built out this product to be what it is today. It was, we had a vision of what it should be, but without actually working with dispensaries and working alongside different operators, we created a gap. So we closed that gap with time, but it's really a lot of just the network that we have, some outreach. And I mean, hey, I go into as many dispensaries as I possibly can, whether it's Colorado, California, back home in Mass. And I'm not shy about dropping a line, leaving the business card.
So tell me a little bit about like the data capture on this. Are you able to see, the majority of people, they like buying quarters, they like buying eighths? Is it a gram? I mean, what can people expect to see in the vending machine? Like a tier of weights, or what does it look like on the inside of Banana?
So the inside, it's fully customizable. It's not your typical vending machine where the snack vending machine where you have these spirals and these products drop down. It's much more high tech and much more adjustable than that. So on the interior, you can move your shelves higher or lower for different product heights. You can move shelves left to right. So you can have as many as 56 individual SKUs in each machine, all temperature controlled by the row. So you can have 40 degrees for drinks or some live concentrates that need to remain chilled towards the bottom of the machine, and at the top you can have flour that's 72 degrees, perfectly room temperature. It was really we can put this very diverse list of products we can put inside Anna. We're even talking with one of our dispensary partners about potentially serving clones out of the machine. So there's really no limitation to what we can do there. And the software itself, it's very it's simple, it's friendly, it's very approachable. And I always say I always think that cannabis will become like any other industry with time as it matures. It's going to need the same software, hardware, support services, you name it. So what we've tried to do is just make the retail, the consumer experience commensurate with what they're already expected, what they expect elsewhere. So you can walk up, you sort of just use the screen, add products to your cart. You can even order ahead of time on your phone, get a QR code that when you scan, all the products you ordered ahead will pre-populate on the cart. But we make it nice and simple, and it's an option. We like to, if some people want that quick in and out, they don't need the one-on-one interaction. They already know what they want. That's an option for them. But it's all bud tender controlled as well. So this isn't a autonomous machine in the sense that you can go walk up on the side of a street corner, put in money, scan someone else's ID. This is all controlled by the bud tender from their current workstations. They authorize the orders, make sure that everything's within the correct legal amounts. And so it's really we're very immersed into the dispensary floor, into the dispensary world.
That's awesome. What a innovative idea, and one that, like you said, it is needed, will be needed as the industry matures. So tell us a little bit about, the company's morals. What are the core values? Cannabis is, I won't say a controversial industry, but there's a lot of need for fair representation, social equity. There's a lot of people that have a seat at the table, whereas maybe others are deserving of a seat at the table. What is Anna's commitment to restorative justice or social equity in the cannabis industry?
We come from Massachusetts, where the social equity program has been a big sticking point, and it's been a very important initiative for not just the commissioners that put it in place and all the legislature, but really for the people and those that are impacted. I think creating an opportunity, letting hard work be what can drive success is so important. And unfortunately there are just barriers that exist in this world that social equity programs are needed because there are disparities that people we need to overcome. But for us, from the individual standpoint, we've got a small team. I think we're up to almost 10 people right now. We're really expanding and preparing for a much larger rollout in the coming months. There's not a single person on this team that I didn't have pitch me their job first. Now I know, I'd say I need an engineer or I need some whatever the position might be. I believe in hard work. There's nothing that I would ever ask an employee or anyone on this team to do that I would not do myself. And I think anyone would tell you that on this team. And I think it's just for us, to me, it's important to to be as passionate as you can about what you're doing here. So when I say pitch me your job description or what you want to do, tell me why we need you. I don't have enough time to keep my head on straight half the time. So it's really just cornerstones of this team are just hard work and busting ass and having fun in the process. But I'm very, very, very fortunate to be working with the people that I'm working with, and I couldn't ask for anyone better.
Well, that's great. You appreciate your team, and you're, an equal opportunity employer, and you're willing to give anyone a chance that, really can pitch their own job to you. So that's very interesting. You mentioned, expanding in the coming months. I mean, let's talk about federal legalization. Let's talk about where this country is at right now. We have a new administration in the White House. Where do you see, Anna, in the next, 1 to 5 years? Where do you see cannabis legalization? What do you think your growth is going to be based off the laws?
Sure. So I think we're going to be right, coincide very much with what happens at the federal level. I was trained a long time ago to, if someone asks, when do you think cannabis will be legal federally? And it's sooner than you think is always like the generic response. But I mean, I do believe that. But to me, sort of the way I think things lean, and I follow this as much as I can, daily emails and power reading every morning through all of my news alerts. But it probably seemed like it would go the direction of it'd be a state's issue. So like online gambling, for instance, the Supreme Court, I believe, said it was, it's not illegal. They'll let every individual state decide if they want to participate or not. And I feel like that's probably a good route for cannabis. Not that I don't make policy, but I think it would really unlock, it would solve, for one, the banking problems. People trying to open up bank accounts, debit credit processing for transactions. It's probably the only industry, or one of the only, if not the only, where you have to pay more to use plastic. It's sort of ass backwards in some ways, but it's because of the federal illegality. With Anna, and I think this will be happening, in the sooner than we think. I think probably the next 18, 24 months, maybe longer than that. But that's really what we've sort of pegged ourselves to in terms of our growth and where we're rolling out to. We wanted to plant flags in all of the major cannabis markets, and really geographically have sort of a place where we could plant flags and then sort of grow out from there. So the plan has always been, we've done Colorado, we've done Denver. We're going into Portland, Oregon next. We'll be in Las Vegas after that. California, towards like the northern part of the, we'll be in the mountains actually, and in Los Angeles County. And then we'll be doubling back into Massachusetts. So I think it's important that we just have those to overuse the term, we'll call it pillars. We have these stakes that we put in the ground in each of these places, but we have much bigger expansion plans behind that. So we have our team's goal in the next 24 months is to roll out 168 machines across the U.S. and Canada. It's aggressive. It's something that we are all bought into on this team, though. And I think, I see the contracts come through on a daily basis. I think we're gonna meet that mark.
That's amazing. Well, awesome. I cannot wait to see Anna at, a dispensary near me, and can't wait to see you guys, get into the market full throttle and to grow as cannabis grows. So thank you so much. For people that either maybe want to, experience one of your machines, or they want to follow up with the company, where can they find you guys?
Sure. So if you go to tryanna.com, TRYANNA, you can find, contact info. You can reach out to us with questions, anything you'd like to discuss. And that goes from whether you're an operator, whether you're an investor, whether you're an entrepreneur who just wants to, to talk about, what the experience is like. I mean, anyone that's willing to listen, we're willing to talk to. And on the website as well, there's a locations page where you can find, the locations where Anna is placed. You can look at the online menus, submit a pre-order, all of that fun stuff. So again, that's tryanna, TRYANNA.com.
Awesome. All right, Matt. Well, thank you very much for speaking with me today.
Thanks, Christina. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.